Fluffy against Fremd. I cannot, and you've not watched In Betweeners, so you won't get it, but Jamie's sitting there, will get it. I can't not think of In Betweeners when I think of his name. His name's Josh Fremd. But you remember the Frems? He's like taking the piss out of him. Yeah, I don't know. I keep going back to that.
I feel like
someone
you should
watching
clip this and tag him, and I'm sure that he'll be your biggest fan.
Someone watching this will know what I'm talking about. I can't. It's like Matt Damon and his name being ruined by Team America, right? You can't think of Matt Damon without going Matt Damon. You can't do it. Like Team America have ruined his brand forever. I feel the same thing with this guy and with In Betweeners. Someone watching will know what I'm talking about. Oh, this is where we need to airdrop Oxley in for a moment because he'll know exactly what I'm fucking talking about. You need to watch In Betweeners. I have said this before. It is great, isn't it? It is really good.
This is the second time he's
Blake's
disappointed that I'm not Owen, by the way.
Not at all. Not at all.
On the podcast.
I'm just realizing that, there's
There's what?
Yeah. I have a whole back catalogue of British TV references which you just won't get because you've only lived there for 2 years. Okay, anyway. Fluffy Hernandez against Josh Fremd. I very much enjoyed Fremd's last fight. It was on... 1 second, I will pull his record up. It was a real back and forth one. He was under a lot of pressure at certain times in the fight. The guy he was fighting had really nice counter striking and boxing. Where are we? Joel Bauman, it was. FAC 12. He won by rear naked choke in the second round. Like, no hooks, rear naked choke. Was just like clamped onto him with his knees and strangled him. And then as his opponent rolled, he went kind of like half body triangle. He did the leg across the waist part, but without hooking the leg. And it was just a really nice finish after the fight being really like a real back and forth, good striking exchange. He's only got one loss on his record. Is that right? No, sorry, 2 losses on his record. One was a decision loss from back in 2018, but his other loss, his most recent one, middle of 2021, was against Gregory Rodriguez, who's in the UFC now. Lost by punches in the first round. But he's won 2 fights since then. Like, the talk on the commentary in his last fight was like, he's probably ready for a step up now if he's ever going to be. And I think this is an interesting one because Hernandez generally gets a bit beaten up and then has a submission that he pulls out of the bag like he did against Rodolfo Vieira.
I still can't get over that.
I know.
Oh, that's so
it's
sad.
Brilliant to watch. I love it. I just love watching those kind of things, especially when you can see someone has just thrown everything in the kitchen sink at their opponent and it's just not quite worked out. And then they've got those, like they come out. You saw it at Cage Warriors, the main event on Saturday with Jati Milan. Like, he wrestled the fuck out of Christian Leroy Duncan in the first round and just couldn't control him enough to do anything. Came out the second round. The first thing he did, he walked out to the center of the cage and he just went, like, shook out his arms. And I'm like, he's doomed. There's 4 more rounds. He's doomed. And like, you saw the same thing with Rodolfo Vieira. All of a sudden, he's fucking He-Man looking physique looks like it's just like on fire. Like his whole body must like you know what it's like. You know what you feel like. You just look at him and you think to yourself, oh my god, he's in so much physical pain right now. Like,
that's one thing I'll say that I can see more from like the commentary.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're at a weird angle because normally if you're watching the fights it's like this or all cameras are forward. But in the commentary, since you're like right behind, you look up and you can see how fucking exhausted they actually are.
Yeah.
Like when they're like toughening it up for the camera and then they look down like,
yeah,
holy.
Yeah, it's like when
crazy.
like when people, like there was a guy on the Cage Warriors. He took a short notice one against Matt Bonner on Friday night, and like poor guy was just spent after the first round.
Oh, the Portuguese guy.
Yeah,
that was offering you stuff because you were puking in the
bus.
bus.
Yeah. He tried so fucking hard in that first round and struggled. And yeah, I felt bad for the guy because he just walked back to his corner and just like collapsed in the corner like a fucking dead teddy bear. And he was like, oh, no more.
I feel like this whole part should be clipped and be like tangent. And now about the fight.
Okay, yeah. Where were we? So I don't know. I don't know. I think it's like Hernandez is 8-2 against 9-2. Mm-hmm. 6'4" for Josh Fremd, so he has a decent height advantage. We don't have a reach stat on him right now because he's making his UFC debut, so that's not been measured yet. But I would imagine at 6'4" he's gonna have a longer reach than 75. But we will find that out. Also 4 stoppages for Fremd, as well as 3 submissions. But then obviously Hernandez's game is much more weighted in his submissions, neck attacks, anacondas, etc. What do you reckon?
Well, what I found interesting was that Hernandez's 2 losses were due to like body shots. Even if the fight didn't end like that, like for example, with Marcus Perez, it ended in second round anaconda, but in the end of the first round, he got hit with a body shot that if the round wouldn't have been over, the fight would have been finished, right? And then against Kevin Holland, it was the same, like a body shot to a finish. So I find that maybe he like that is like a weaker area in him, which is like the body. And when Josh Fremd fought, what was his name, Goosey? He had sort of like a half Nelson on him and just unloading crazy amounts of knees that ended his opponent. So I feel like if he uses that approach to attack the body and really hurt him in that aspect, that he can take away so much of Anthony's like cardio power. Like against Rodolfo Vieira, he was able to like outwork him, but maybe with body shots, that advantage wouldn't be there as much. Yeah, and Josh, like, he throws, like, loads of kicks as well, like, loads to the lead leg, whether it's calf or a little bit higher. And he does
leave his head on the center line a lot when he kicks, don't he? That's one thing I noticed against Joel.
He got, like right crossed. He has a nice, like Cuban hook.
You just punched your damaged knuckle.
I did. I punched it and I was like, oh, you idiot. Again.
It's just another reason to hate beans, right?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. You don't have to bring it up. Like nobody needs to know.
Okay, so which way are you thinking this is gonna go?
I'm gonna go for Anthony.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go the opposite way.
No, I feel like Anthony just moves a lot better boxing wise, like slip and like dips really well and comes in with attacks, and that's where I feel like Josh has had difficulties, especially with those kicks, like you said, like he does sometimes do them in the center line. So I feel like Anthony might catch him there, and he has good enough jiu-jitsu defense to, get away from Fremd. So I'm going Anthony.
Okay, fair enough.
Plus, Josh is a late replacement to Duplessis, who was then changed to fight Gastelum, and then is no longer on the card. That sucks so bad. But
I think this guy knows. I mean, like I said, they even said it in the commentary during his last fight. At the end of his last fight after he won, they were like, he might be now ready to be called up for a late replacement, so he's got to stay ready.
Okay.
Like, I think he's kind of known that he might be on the other end of the phone to the UFC at some point soon.
Yeah, but it's not the same though.
No, it's not. But then sometimes it works out better. I mean, you think Bisping walked off a movie set, and then 2 weeks later, he won the world title. And funnily enough, this is Bisping, this silhouette here.
I know, we talked about it last time because it looks kind of strange.
I just can't not see him when I see it. I'm like, oh shit, Anthony Hernandez is fighting Bisping. Yeah, I think Fremd's gonna do it.
Yeah, it's like the weird neck and the ears.
It's because I know he's pulling that mean mug face. That's what it is. It's, hang on a minute. Oh shit, I'm zoomed in now.
We're giving him eyebrow advantage at this point.
That's how he's looking right now. Look, there we go. His nose is too big. Honestly, I could do this forever. This could be the whole show. That looks pretty good. This could be the whole show. I could just do this. I could give him a hat.
Outlaw Tangent podcast.
Anyway, so
give him an Arby's hat.
I'm going with Bisping. I'm going with Josh Fremd on this one. I think he's going to do it.
All right.
I think he's primed and ready. And I find it very difficult to pick someone whose nickname is Fluffy and gets stopped with body shots or hurt with body shots.
Yeah, but have you seen the comedian Fluffy? He's awesome.
I haven't, no.
He's so funny.